Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Just wanted to give everybody a warm welcome from Project Zainab. This is one of the first live programs that we are actually setting out for you tonight. Inshallah Kareem, from Tuesday onwards, every Tuesday, 9 p.m. UK time, we will be airing on live, YouTube and Zoom. You will be always given a Zoom link for you to actually join us on the program. What Project Zainab is going to be doing is that we'll be introducing a set of topics which we know are going to be topics that mean so much to your family and so much to the community. Obviously, by the hadith of the Ahlul Bayt, we've been always informed that the community starts with your family directly. And therefore, our job as part of Project Zainab is to bring you all and include you all in helping to straighten out our communities, straighten out our families. And what I mean by straightening out is basically we know there are extreme amount of problems in most of the households, specifically those I talk about here is the Western style homes. We've got a set of issues that are affecting not just the families, but the communities. And Project Zainab wants to kind of work with you all to help bring calm and a level of Islam into our homes, according to the Hadith, according to the Quran and the Ahlul Bayt alayhi salam. Inshallah, we've got topics lined up for you that actually matter to all of us. Some of the topics we will be covering would be about psychological well-being of our children, our thought processes, and things that feed into long-term habits, the effects of those on our relationships. We have teamed up with Dr. Rebecca Masterton, few wonderful, experienced ladies from America and the UK who have long-term, specialism in working with not only just children and young people, but also adults. We've got people who have experience in, dealing with marital issues as marital counselors, but also people who have dealt with domestic violence. And we know that that is something that is very, very important to deal with, and it's paramount that we kind of reduce these incidences in our community and make it a healthier community than we've been seeing or we're a part of. The other things that I want to discuss is what are our children actually doing, who they actually meet, what are they kind of being influenced by. And we all know that there are social media influencers. We know that they are heavily, they heavily project a kind of a difference to our children, things that we may not be used to as part of our Eastern culture. And living in the West, it makes it much more difficult for parents from the East to try and understand where their children are at. I myself have worked with a lot of children and young people in the school environment, and therefore I know that there are issues that are prevalent and that we must reduce, inshallah, in the community. Some of the other topics that, inshallah, we will be introducing would be based on accepting ourselves, our identity. So it's a Muslim identity in the West. And hopefully we were talking about the effects of that, not only just in our own homes, but also on a society. One of the other issues that we have come across in our community is spouse selection, the marital issues, setting up a marriage, and how we come by and how we can actually set precedents for the community. Is it about cultural rituals? What is it? Is it about expenses? We will talk about simplistic weddings and how that affects on our society too. But there is also something that is really, really important. And one of those is the readiness of husband and wife, and then moving on to taking on the parental role. On Tuesday, we will be talking about personality disorders. I will be hosting a program with Dr. Rebecca Masterton, who will be talking about narcissism and personality disorders. Following Tuesday, we have Sister Farzana, Karawali, and she will be talking with her specialism in place, her professionalism, on the topic of the taboo that goes with personality disorders and labeling and all those kinds of things, because sometimes we know that there is an issue, but we aren't you know we are either too cultured to understand that there is a need for therapy within the community. And then we have the taboo, and then we have people from the community um, who not only sideline people who have got difficulties and learning difficulties, or people with mental health issues, but then they have the audacity to start labeling some of our own children, or some of these young people, or people even who are adults in our community. So we want to be talking about several of those issues. Um, and we've got to understand that there is a lot of cultural injustice going on. In the next few months, I'll be working on one of the important issues, which is social justice. So hopefully by next year or the year after, hopefully we'll have that completion in a form of a book. But it will be talking about not just this social injustices that we commit on our own self, our own nafs, but social injustices to other people, our community. And this is not the Islam that should have been in place. And that's not definitely something that the Ahlul Bayt would be, proud of. Is the fact that we are causing these injustices, and we are causing, we are actually wounding our own community. We're wounding our families. We're not understanding the Hadith properly, and everybody would like to see, class themselves as being a Muslim, but, what does it mean to be a true Muslim? Where are we in terms of our failures? Do we admit readily that we are committing sin? And that small injustices to other people is a sin. It's one of the major sins. We will be talking about aspects of backbiting, things that actually spoil the families, things that really impact our families. Inshallah, this is just a summary of today's program. There isn't going to be too much going on today, but I felt that it's important that people understand that soon, very soon, we will be, going out live streaming, only so that we can bring, resolve to your homes through the lens of Zoom and through the lens of YouTube, because I believe that it's essential that we do discuss aspects of our lives which are affected, not because we are highly Western life influenced, or Western style influenced rather, but also because we are perhaps heavily cultured, and maybe our culture isn't suitable to meet the means to a healthy life of a Muslim. We need to be able to have these healthy discussions without feeling that we are criminal in any way, but be able to kind of resolve these issues amicably, using some of the tailor-made programs that we will be bringing forward to you on Project Zainab, but also so that you can actually see that there is a resolve, that we need to feel that these are lockdown days, and lockdown has impacted every one of us wherever we may be globally, but also to recognize that there is so much that we can still do with the life that we have. And if it hasn't already come home to you guys, just let's understand that today and tomorrow there's no guarantee that we are going to be around. For parents, there's no guarantee you will be around for your children forever, eternally. And for children, the same thing. Life is changing dramatically. Has changed dramatically for every single one of us. So I felt that Project Zainab would be, a means or a tool to help people, not only in just their families, but also in the communities. And hopefully we can give you a helping hand to, remove some of the issues that we have and we can discuss this with a professional panel and people, the scholarly, scholarly people who have actually experienced this in the community, but willing to really, really help out and actually give us some of their experiences, their knowledge, and share that with all of you. I have a small amount of knowledge in terms of working with young people and adolescents, and I have seen a lot of this in schools. As I've just said, and I'm kind of reiterating myself that there are levels of experiences that I have gained, but we have to be open to the attitudes that are impacting us all negatively, and let's make use of Project Zainab in a positive manner, and hopefully, inshallah, I want to give back as part of Project Zainab, back to the community, back to the people, hopefully resolve a lot of the issues that we have. I want to be able to discuss parenting lifestyles, and there are sisters from America who have got so much experience in homeschooling. They want to be able to talk about Islamic phonic reading, and hopefully, inshallah, week by week on Tuesdays, 9 p.m. Be there with us. Share that time where you can actually, gain some knowledge, if not some tips on learning how to, parent your child significantly in the most positive way using hadith and the Ahlul Bayt, and there are so many verses in the Quran which talk about being at a good level of in your iman to help your own self, not only yourself but the people around you. We want to talk about the center point of your household, who is running the household in terms of skills, life skills, and nurturing your children, and how much that really impacts them. I know for a fact that there has been issues in terms of our parenting style, and it has impacted our children. And I'll be the first one to put my hand up and say, nothing is written in stone, and everybody needs some kind of advice, but they also need to be, willing to change their lifestyle based on the teachings of the Quran and the lifestyle of the Ahlul Bayt. We want to know how you have come by, or what have you learned from our programs. Give us some feedback. It's very valuable to us to learn something that we have done which might be positive or might be negative, something that we can work on and bring forward to you. I'd be absolutely interested to hear what your views are and how we can actually improve on our programs. Please do give us some feedback. Inshallah, I'm looking forward to our panelists, and again I have to say Dr. Rebecca Masterton, who has a wealth of knowledge, mashallah, in very different fields, and I'm sure inshallah that we can all benefit from her. That would be amazing. But also we've got so many wonderful sisters and brothers across globally who have wonderful experiencing not only the life of their children, but also experiencing some difficulties in their own lives, which they want to share with us, but actually also give us some tips and advice on how to better ourselves. And this is what Project Zainab aims to do, is to bring home to you that we want to help make positive changes in everybody's household. And it's not going to be just stuck to the program. Hopefully, inshallah, we once lockdown is over, we're willing to go into the community and hopefully live stream with people around the community who can make our lives better, who can actually think about making positive changes, not just in their own home, but homes of other people too. We need to think about things that we do and how they affect our relationship, the agendas, our attitudes, appeasing the Western ideology and the agendas of the West. We want to make changes. We want to make sure that all parents, adults, are aware of what their children are going through, not only in the community, in schools, but also around their environment, because that's also essential. Some parents don't have that knowledge, And we want to bring that to you too. Like I've said before, we will be doing a program on accepting ourselves. We know that during lockdown and prior to lockdown and the last few years have been extremely difficult for Muslim women in the community, in society. We want to help you understand what is hijab in its sensual self, but that's your practical hijab, your social hijab, your physical hijab, but also what does it mean, what is hijab to you? And because we have seen that influencers on social media have played a real important part in some of the young people, teenagers, who have felt that hijab is actually, something that they don't want to wear anymore as a scarf on their heads. But, we want to talk about hijab and what it actually means to the physical self, the practical self, and the spiritual self more as well. We will be talking about several other aspects which have affected young people in our community. There are a lot of young people who have not been able to have somebody to mentor them and counsel them or be a friend to them. And we want to bring that home. We have a sister from Florida, Sister Sakina Ali Khan, who's doing some amazing work with young people. And I want to, hopefully, inshallah, when we interview this wonderful person, you'll understand how important it is to be able to be a part of a young person's life, even if we can only just reach out to them. So, there's a lot of outreach work that is happening in the community, never talked about. We also want to interview a lot of people who are working for the betterment of their society, and we perhaps don't know the ins and outs of the work that they do. Maybe, inshallah, we'll be interviewing a lot of people who have been, working behind the scenes. They're not after accolades. They're not after, some kind of achievement award by the community, but they're doing it just fi sabilillah, and they want to make sure that the work that they do is something that changes the society for the positive. This is what Project Zainab is about, inshallah. We look forward to Tuesday, the 24th of November. Please tune in for Dr. Rebecca Masterton's live streaming program, and she will be talking about narcissism in our society and personality disorders. She will also look at how to actually resolve some of those issues, especially if you've been a victim of narcissism. And she will help you if you have been a victim of that, and hopefully, inshallah, we'll be able to seek some resolve through her program. I will be hosting the program on Tuesday, 24th of November. Please tune in at 9 p.m. UK time. For those in America, that means it's either 4 o'clock in the afternoon, or it means it's 1 o'clock in the afternoon, depending on the East Coast and West Coast of United States. We will be 9 p.m., which means any place for anyone in Africa, it will be maybe 2 hours behind in hours, but we will set all our hours according to where you are and where you're based globally. Inshallah, I look forward to seeing you all. And inshallah, please pray for us. If there's any sponsors who would like to sponsor Project Zainab, financially, we're actually making, we are self-funded. We are not actually receiving funds from the government or any other community member, but we would look forward to if anybody could help us out, inshallah, and maybe so that we can pay our specialist professionals that come onto the program. That would be amazing. Inshallah, look forward to seeing you on the 24th of November. Please be there. And inshallah, let's make a change. Let's make a big difference to our society, our families. Let's not forget our duty is to have compassionate families. That is one of the recommendations of the Ahlul Bayt. Let's work on those recommendations and bring to you a happy home and a happy society. Allah, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.